Welcome to another live reaction with the first week of the spring 2019 anime season. Things are going pretty crazy right now because I think there's about 4 shows coming out today and they're all worth checking out, as well as some old shows that are so unpopular they haven't been subbed for like 3 days, so I have that on the back burner. Long day of reacting ahead of me. So the first one of the day is, of course, the most popular show of the spring season, which has to be the new season of One Punch Man. So without further ado, let's get into it. Saitama, as always, continuing with his quest to become the #1 most popular hero. Now, before we get started, let's just discuss the themes of One Punch Man really quick. So Saitama is without doubt the most powerful man in the entire universe. He kills everything with like a single punch, and at the end of last season, he basically destroyed this like alien universal like king guy who came from wherever and started like decimating the earth for no real reason. He just destroyed him, and everyone was, even they were surprised. Even Saitama was surprised that he actually beat him. And as we all know, Saitama didn't get his powers from nowhere. He basically got it by doing crunches and pull-ups, and it's a joke that he even has them, but he does have them. And the whole arc of last season was he wants to become the most popular hero. Like, he wants to become an A rank hero, S rank hero, whatever it is. So we're starting off with that as the baseline now, or we're just accepting that Saitama is part of this hero organization. And one of the greatest strengths of One Punch Man is that there are so many just fun characters in the show. And we see Genos, who's like the main character of some other show. But we don't get to see that show. We get to see this show with a bald guy who looks exactly like the main character in Mob Psycho 100. Not a coincidence, by the way. And we get this like completely uninteresting just salaryman guy who decided one day he's going to become a superhero. But that's who we get, because ultimately that's what makes the show interesting, is that the main character isn't your typical superhero, right? Genos goes on about his backstory at every chance that he gets. That's what makes him the typical shonen protagonist, but they make fun of him so much that you get put off of every other backstory that you hear. Okay, that's enough of a rant. Let's keep watching. This is another like trope of One Punch Man, is that the supervillains are so weird. Like in the very first episode of One Punch Man, before Saitama becomes One Punch Man, he sees this guy who's just a lobster, and he's like, oh yeah, I just turned into a lobster. And then this guy's like, I love reptiles so much, I just turned into one. Like, this whole universe has this weird phenomenon where if you want to be something, you just do it, right? Like, one of the most popular characters from this show is Moomin Rider, because he has no powers at all. He just goes around on his bicycle helping people. That's like the purest form of heroism, because he has nothing special to keep him from getting destroyed anytime he goes out there against one of these crazy people, but he does it anyway. And he's like a C-class hero, but Saitama looks up to him like crazy because he's just pure of heart. And in this case, all the supervillains have the dumbest motivations ever, and this is just continuing that. This is typical One Punch Man, by the way. So this guy is the most powerful hero in the entire world. One, we get an internal monologue that says he doesn't even want to be a hero. And two, he just wanted to go shopping to buy this particular like either game or manga or whatever. This is typical One Punch Man. So the things that you're good at, they don't do, because that's just like the obvious choice. They want to do something completely different. Now, I don't know if you know anything about real life athletes, but real life athletes are so similar to this. At some point, when they get really good at what they do in the athletic world, they just decide that, oh, just doing this is not enough. I have to be X, Y. I have to be like something else. Like, I can't just be the best basketball player in the world. I have to be the best baseball player in the world, right? Michael Jordan famously, in the middle of, after having just won 3 championships back to back, randomly quit and went to play minor league baseball for 2 years. This is just like the mentality of being on that level, is just like, you don't want to just do what you're doing because that's boring now because you already achieved it. He's on to do something else. And in this case, he's like, I'm the best hero in the world, but it's not enough for me to just be that. I'm not just a one-dimensional hero guy. I also like this other stuff, but I can't let other people know that I like this other stuff because I have to project this aura of being like unapproachable and like untouchable and just very strong. But he has this like secret internal core. And there was recently like a One Piece villain who similarly had the same thing. I think there was something to do with, he was the leader of a gang, and he was like, his mom was like the leader of a gang of pirates, and he was the son. I forget names, so I don't know, but we could probably look this up. Oh, it is a game. Game then, okay. It's one of those games, you know, like that all the Emoto shows are based on. Also, it's hilarious that this guy just went out to get a game that he was really looking forward to, and he can't even go to the shop without getting stopped by a monster. Like, he got stopped by a monster on the way there, and now he's getting stopped by a monster on the way back. And Saitama has like no reaction to him seeing a monster, but Genos is like, yes, this will be an opportunity to see how powerful he truly is. Genos is just like a one-track shonen mind. That's all he thinks. Saitama's probably like, what game did he buy? Yo, this is like 100% One Punch Man. It's good to see that they're coming out of the gate with everything. Yo, this is, so for people who have seen Ping Pong, the main villain in that, not villain, but he's like the highest ranked tennis player among them, table tennis player. He has a very similar reaction right before a match, and like Peko and Smile don't like react at all before they get into a match, right? They just go play their game. But that guy, the expectation of having to win and having to uphold his position as the most like powerful guy among them makes it so that he's like fearful of every opportunity that presents itself. And he kind of doesn't like that it is this way, but he does recognize that because he's been to the World Table Tennis Championships and like won there and come back, he has this like position, which means that every single time he plays the game, it means more to him than it does to anyone else. Like, it affects his position in the world more than it affects anyone else. Whoever he plays, if he loses, it means much more to him. Like, it affects his sponsorships, it affects where he can go, or like what kind of tournament he can attend. It affects him way more than it does anyone else. So King is so powerful that if he has to fight this monster, he doesn't even want to fight it, because at this point there's no point in fighting things anymore. And like he's so strong that his fame is what brings the monsters to him. Like, the monsters are like, this is kind of like the Batman theory, right? Batman is so famous that supervillains arise specifically to battle Batman. At some point, Batman fighting crime like falls in on itself, and he just creates more crime than he solves. And King is at this level where like he create supervillains who want to come after him specifically because he's king. The robot was like, I need your battle information, not like I want to defeat you and destroy the city. He came specifically to get his battle information. So it's like he's at this level where he just wants to play games. That's all he wants to do. He doesn't even want to be a hero anymore. That's like played out for him because it doesn't hold any meaning anymore. At some point, he just went so far past the level of normal things that you would do as a hero that now it's just like robots are coming out of the blue to try to kill him just to get his battle information, and he's just trying to get home to play a game, and he's like, he just doesn't want to die or whatever. Yo, this is even better than what I said. Okay, just cancel everything I said. This is insane. This is way better than that. This is nuts. So cancel everything that I said. This is actually even next level than that. So they're like addressing the trope of like people being too powerful and like things coming after them by just making him a complete loser that coincidentally monsters died in front of. That's way more interesting and funny than anything that I said. I'm stupid. Fuck that. Oh my fucking god. This is great. This is like someone walking in when you've like just no shirt on, eating a bag of Doritos off of your belly. This is like that. It's just like the lowest possible point to be discovered at. I like this character. This is really good. This is beautiful, by the way. Saitama and King are playing video games inside while Genos is just like single-handedly battling a demon-level robot threat. This is amazing. Of course there's a robot inside the robot. Does he tell him the truth or does he make something up? I hope he makes something up because that's going to make it even more funny. Yo, he asks, could it be so you're so strong that you don't want to fight anymore? I hope he says yes, and then he's like a bad influence on Saitama this whole season because Saitama's too strong too, so he's just like, let's just sit inside and play games while everyone else deals with the threats. That'd be amazing. A giant bird just flew into a building. I'm glad we got the origin of that scar, because I was just about to ask where he got that scar from. Before we move on, just as a quick acknowledgement, right? So Saitama is a person who was a normal person and he wanted to become a hero, and he like went out and tried to be a hero for fun. King is like the opposite, right? So King didn't want to be a hero at all. He just had it thrust upon him, and he's like, okay, I guess I'll go along with it since someone's defeating these monsters and no one's getting hurt. So it's like an interesting like juxtaposition of Saitama being someone who went out and sought it like actively, and he just passively had it thrust upon him even though he has no powers, right? I just thought that was interesting. This dude's hair is amazing, by the way. This is the best haircut I've ever seen. The left side of his face is on purpose looks like Terminator, I'm just saying. The name Heavy Tank Loincloth, I'm reserving that. Nobody buy that website. Oh, it's that one guy. We needed a good villain just about now. And I like the idea that this world, this upside down world, is just so full of disasters that you can't even like go one day without getting something just completely fucked up happening. That's pretty cool. I hope they explore that more. Is this like Tatsumaki Sr.? Super serious game face? Okay. So that was episode 1 of One Punch Man. Most important part of any episode 1 is to set up the struggles for the coming season, right? To know what to expect. And we get that. So Saitama and his continued just distancing from humanity is now just sitting in this other dude who also doesn't want to be a hero, but who, unlike Saitama, has no powers and no convictions, is just sitting in this guy's apartment playing video games while 2 separate groups are hunting him down, right? We don't know much about the lady in the green dress. She looks kind of like Tatsumaki from the previous season. Her name is Hellish Blizzard, so I'm going to assume there's some relation there because tornadoes, blizzards, not too distant from each other. And of course, the Sonic guy who's been chasing Saitama for a long time. There's 2 separate forces looking for him, but it seems like the motivating plot of the season is going to be that all these like threats are coming more often than ever, and there's not even enough heroes to go around, right? So when humanity's need is greatest is when Saitama is sitting in an apartment playing video games. And Saitama's never been that motivated to go out and get monsters killed. You know, that's never been his motivation because that's kind of what he doesn't like doing. He doesn't like being bothered by having to kill monsters. He just wants to be a hero. But now he has this other guy who's like the #1 ranked hero in the world. So, and that guy doesn't have any powers and just became a hero because Saitama kept killing all the monsters that showed up. And his only power is that he's so unlucky that he attracts monster events like nobody's business. And Saitama just takes care of it. And somehow this promoted this guy to #1 S-class ranked hero. So we get this weird position where Saitama's off in an apartment playing video games, monsters are showing up more than ever, and 2 separate people are trying to hunt him down. What more could you ask for as it relates to a show where the main character is like a flat character arc? He doesn't go through any change really. He already knows what he needs to know by the end of the series. Like, he's the strongest guy and the rest of the world just changes around him. Like, the Speed of Sound Sonic guy has alerted the hero organization to his, or whatever organization that green dress lady represents, to Saitama's existence, and they have to go find him because he's the key to like getting the villains to work with the heroes. Like, even without his knowledge, things are moving around him. And that's the best part about One Punch Man, is that the Saitama just stays Saitama the whole way through, and other things go completely bonkers all the way around him. So solid first episode. The hype is just going to keep building. We get some hints that Genos may be like, something may happen with Genos at some point with this series. It's too early to tell. But solid first episode. One Punch Man is like the most famous anime in the world by now. If you don't know what it is, watch the first season. It's on Netflix, I'm pretty sure. Everyone's seen One Punch Man. Solid action show with like comedy and commentary on the genre itself. Definitely a recommended watch. So thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video.